Okay, good. So, hello, it's Jason Weisgerber with Element Life Consulting, and I'm here to discuss and introduce an upcoming event that I have called Element Life 2014, happening January 4th in Denver, Colorado. And it's essentially aimed at helping women that are in leadership lives, both professionally and personally, have some tools and gain some insight on how to be an empowered leader without having to become a man. And so I'm interviewing some other people right now along the way that are also in an empowered lives and powerful women in their own right. And one of them is my new friend and colleague Nadine Lajoie, who is an author, a motivational speaker, and she is an incredible, strong, and powerful woman on the planet right now. So hello, Nadine.
Hello, Jason. Thank you very much for having me.
My greatest pleasure. Thanks for being with me. So I want to just get right into it, and we can talk a little bit more about the event that I have coming up soon. But I would rather for now hear about you. So I've got a few things that I really want to learn more about since I read your press kit. So do you mind if I just jump into it and ask you a few things?
No problem. I love that. And, when people reach their goal and their dream, this is my passion and my mission too. So it's why I really connected well with you.
Ah. Good. Okay. Great. 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 So listen. One of the things that I've been looking at from your bio is I wonder if you just discuss a little bit of your history, kind of how you got to where you are, also with some of the past that you've had in terms of even being in a difficult time or being in a depressed state, or even some of those intense moments. Can you discuss that past part and how it brought you to where you are now?
Yes, thank you very much. A lot of people, they see me or they see other people who are on stage, who are artists or speakers, and people have a tendency to think that life is always nice and is always good, but it's not always that way.
Right.
For the first 25 years of my life, I was really depressed and having the big hole inside and being mad, being sad, even if I was good at everything, at piano, at music, at sports, good parents. I had a big hole inside and I was never satisfied. I was a perfectionist and I had 98% and I was crying because it was never enough.
Wow.
But life often is bringing you some tools and strategies or illness or accident or different things to just wake you up. And that's what happened to me in 95. I wanted
Okay.
to kill myself in 95 for the first 25 years of my life. I always said I want to kill myself if the life is not better.
Mm.
And finally, I discovered that my mom just really listened to me that night, and my mission and my passion is really to help people to get empowered, like from depressed to a champion motorcycle racer, from being also a champion. I was playing a champion volleyball championship, and I'm 5'1", and I was also top 10% in financial planning business. But all that happened when I did the switch inside myself, and that people has a friend all the time.
That's we got right to it. That's really the central message about why I'm doing an event like this, why I'm leading a life like this, and the work that I'm doing now. And it sounds like this, very similar for you as well. And I remember reading in your bio what you just described. You were doing a TEDx talk, actually, and I remember you saying that you were in a place in your life where you were ninth overall, and this is in Canada. You were ninth in a volleyball competition. Was that?
That was a Canadian championship, actually. I finished ninth after I broke my knee 5 times. And for me, music, piano, and volleyball saved my life because I was aiming on practicing my piano or going to play volleyball. And I broke my knee for the 5th time in 2000. And I said, okay, what is my next passion? What is my next hobby? And that's where I discovered the motorcycle racing, because I already attained my championship volleyball, and I was playing against Olympians, and I finished 9 in that volleyball thing. So for me, that was really finding competition and finding fun and passion in something else. And I bought a motorcycle just for fun, and 2 years later, I was on the racetrack and just racing against men and against women. So, and this is my lesson, and I think that goes really well with your leadership training. I think when you get the mindset in one thing, the second time it's so much easier. And for me, that was piano, volleyball, financial planning, music, and now motorcycle racing, and now as a speaker, speaking all over the world. So when you get those
Right.
tools and strategy that you will probably share in your event too, it's really showing people that success is not all about money. Success is about mindset and what you put into it and your being first. Without the
Mm.
being, you cannot have and you cannot do a lot of difference in the world without being yourself first.
You're right. It is about, and this is what I talk about with people now is that I'm calling myself a fulfillment specialist because I'm writing this book and introducing this book Enoughness, which is about finding a truly and fully expressed life as well as inner and outer fulfillment. And that's why I wanted to, even when I first met you and was talking with you, I easy to connect to, wide open, also very focused and very strong. You have this great combination of attributes. And then reading your bio, just one of the cool things that you said when you were giving that talk on TEDx was that you were ninth overall in this Canadian competition in volleyball, and you were fourth in a huge competition playing the piano, but you still felt this emptiness, this lack, and you were essentially experiencing, like you said, you were winning, you were feeling like you were accomplishing a lot, you were succeeding, but you felt also you had this masculine sense about you, and there was something that you felt was missing, and you even said it. You said that it's the feminine side, it's the ability to be in vulnerability and feel that vulnerable sense that's also extremely just as powerful. And so I wonder if you might just talk on, after experiencing, and it's still happening too. What's funny is that you then became a champion motorcycle rider. So even after realizing that you had this sense that you wanted to add into your life, you still went on to do very powerful and bold things, becoming a racing bike competitor. So what's
Yeah, but
the
I would
addition?
say it depends always from the place that you are doing it. At the beginning, the
Right.
piano, the music, the financial planning, I was really doing that from the place of ego. I wanted to
Ah,
prove people that I was good enough, that I was able to do that even if I was 5'1". People told me I will never play volleyball in a high level, and I said, just watch me. So
right.
I was doing that from the ego. From after that, that's where I 95 I started broken my knee and I stopped in 2000. But after that, I was kind of in 95, a spiritual journey to discover who I am, what
Mm.
are my value, what are my strengths, and how can I contribute to other people. And as a
Mm.
financial planner, I've coached over 800 clients in my life in their financial and their business. And I was always
Wow.
asking them, what is your goal personally and spiritually? And I
Mm.
was sending them little spiritual cards or flower cards with their financial statement. So they were always thinking, who is that crazy chick? Because if you don't have the balance in your life, and that
Right.
part was missing for was my personal and my spiritual life. As I said, I was from the
Mm.
ego, and I had to discover the soul, my soul and my heart. And a mission is really when you are able to bring your heart and your soul, that you heal your wounds, and when you are able to satisfy your ego. And for me,
Mhm.
my ego wants to speak and sing in front of 100,000 people at the same time and being in front of stadium. So this was my ego when I was young. And
Mhm.
my wounds are that story against suicide and depression and the negativeness that I had to fulfill with passion and mission. So bringing both together, that's where my life started just ramp up really fast in my personal business,
Mm.
in my business. At one point, I even signed up a client for $125,000 commission. So
Wow.
that really opened me a lot of doors being able to be authentic, vulnerable, and really show my leadership by being a leader, by showing the way, by doing stuff like crazy stuff like motorcycle racing.
Right.
I finished third at Daytona against 75 guys. I was probably the only woman on the grid. I finished
cool.
ninth in a national championship against guys. We were probably 400, 600 and men, and maybe 4 or 5 women. And I won a championship in a women's class. But it comes really quickly because my mindset, and that's what I teach a lot when I coach people, the mindset and the business together. Without both, without the transactional and the transformational, there is no way you can achieve success at a high level and at a high speed.
Right, I totally agree, and that's really the basis of this book that I'm writing and the event that I want to be doing. Is that you know, in a sense, the aggressive part of us, or the masculine part of life and business, is something that says, I want to set a goal, I see an aim, and I'm just going to, and I see it, and that inspires me, which is great, and it creates this incredible drive. And so then I see that, and I want to just go right to it, and forget about the rest, forget about the details, and essentially even forget about, like you said, my soul and what my soul wants, what I want to personally feel along the way. Meaning that, of course, what's the point of going to that goal is to experience the sweet taste of fulfillment. But along the way, there's a lot of juicy stuff that happens, and so, you know, in order to have a full experience, there's got to be both that drive, that aim, and that pull, as well as the ability to be present and know who I am and like who I am, share who I am, all of the things, all of the positive things, all of the limitations along the way as well, so that when I get to my goal, when I get to that aim, I'm grown both in a personal and a professional way. And so I was curious, one of the things that you talk about, by the way, in your book, and I want to let people know that you've got a book, and the book is called Winning the Race of Life at 180 Miles an Hour. Is that right?
Yes.
That's a fantastic title, and I haven't yet read the book, but I did read a small part that says there's an actual system that you created called the racing system, and it's RACING, each of those giving us a tool. Can you give us the name of each of those, and then I would love it if you just kind of dialed in to two of those.
Okay.
And tell us a little bit more.
Yeah, so the racing is the acronym of racing. The R is for recognize your finish line. What you want, what are your goals, your vision. You need to be clear of what you want. What is the finish line in motorcycle racing, and on which racetrack you want to race, a fast racetrack or a slow racetrack. It depends. None is better than the other. It's just you need to be clear of what you want. The A is act one corner at a time, because when you are motorcycle racing, you are in the first corner, you cannot think about the third corner. You will crash and you will die. So you need to focus on one action step, and I do that Racing to Success program with my coaching program. And when I do live coaching, it's personal, professional, and spiritual. I have 3 lines. When it's for business, it can be customer service, technology, human resources. So people can really choose on which 3 aspects that you want to work. And I always recommend to work on 3 aspects. So all the racing system, it's a 6-step process, 3 aspects that you are kind of following all around the way on the racetrack, and that gives you 18 goals. And I think we will talk a little bit more about the act one corner at a time a little bit later.
Okay.
The C is for care about. Care about your family, your business, your friends, your health, your body. Every details count. Your receptionist, how clean is your office and all that. All the details counts. The I is for empower. This is a word that I invent anyway with my French, strong Canadian English accent. Even if I want to say inspire or empower, that was sounding about the same. So I invented a word which means inspire, empower, and go inside yourself and discover your power. So empower hopefully will be in a dictionary and a Wikipedia within a few years. That is one of my goals. And the N is for never give up, because we have always challenges, and I really suggest to everybody to identify your challenges before they appears. And actually, I sold my house, I sold my car at 36 years old. I bought an RV. I semi-retired at that time at 36, and I traveled 21 states by myself in a truck stop, sleeping in truck stop, parking lots, Walmarts, by myself for 4 months, and it finally lasts 4 years, back and forth, 6 months a year. But the never give up, that for me, when I did that dream book, and I really help a lot of my clients on that, to identify the challenges before they came. So when I was on the road and something was happening, I was ready to never give up and just continue going. And this is the portion that a lot of people, a lot of entrepreneurs, especially women who are in the men's world, I was a financial planner, so I was in the men's world. In a speaking industry, it's still a man's world in 2013, 2014. And in a motorcycle, for sure, it's a man's world. So a lot of people are just giving up because they are not clear about their goals, but they are giving up about the challenges. And what I want is really bring the gap and just close the gap together, so the people can go to the G, which is get it done. After you go over all your challenges, you just get it done. You do the extra step. You put a little bit racing fuel in your motorcycle. One more event a month, or one more client you're calling every week, and that's why you get it done. And if you want to get it done fast, you need to act fast, and you need to really focus with a lot of adrenaline and discipline and coaching and practice. You need to put all that together to get it done.
Okay, that's great. You know what I love about that is that, like I said, usually when we think about what it means to live a successful life, I think we think of, there's a goal, I need to fight and do whatever I need to do to get to it, and when I get there, then I will be whatever. I'll be empowered. I'll feel good about myself. I'll be happy. I'll be successful. Whatever it might be. And that's completely legitimate. That's clearly an inspiring way to live. But like you said earlier in this conversation, and from your talk on TEDx, that there's just another part to living, and that's really essentially the experience of both living, of being fulfilled, of attaining goals. And that's more about what I want to talk about at my event as well, is something called the peak experience, where it's allowing ourselves to have the experience of fulfillment along the way as we're striving to fulfill a goal. And so what I like about your acronym RACING is that it allows us to have a structure when we have a goal, which in a way will slow us down and really allow us to enjoy ourselves, to be deliberate, to understand what we're doing on a moment-to-moment basis. If there's a step to follow towards that goal, it gives our minds something to kind of grasp onto while we're moving towards that ultimate place that we've deemed, the goal. So if we have, well, hold on, great that you have a goal, good. Now, take one step at a time. Make sure that you're paying attention as you go. Feel and know what it is to be empowered or empowered. And I just think that's very, very important that you're introducing that to your clients and giving them something to grab onto as they're pursuing their goals.
Yeah, and I think now the society is all about the get rich quick kind of thing, and there is no such thing as get rich quick. You need hard work, you need smart work, but you still need to work. And when you have a system, when you have a goal, when you have a mentor, when you have a coach, or when you go to an event like you do or like I do at the racetrack, people need role model. And a lot of role model that we see on TV are the get rich quick. That doesn't exist. It's all mirror. And again, if people don't go inside themselves, discover their power, their passion, that things that will make them so happy every morning, there is no way you will reach success. And the people needs to change that mindset about the get rich quick. And I'm so tired of it. When I coach people, I need to kind of unlearn, help them to unlearn what they learn, to really put them on the path, on the racing path, to say, okay, you need to do this, you need to do that. And if you don't change your mindset, because nobody wants to work on their mindset, this is the problem. Right. And they are asking you and me why we are successful and why they are not. It's because we work on the mindset, and I know a little bit of your story as an actor and all that, that you had to went through the rough path, and you had to work to realize who you are right now. And it's not what you have, it's always who you become.
True. It's very, very true. You're right. It's and like I said a little bit earlier too, I really feel like what we're all seeking, whether we're highly driven or somewhere in between or not, is an experience. From day to day, from moment to moment. Even in my spiritual, 10 years of a strong study in spiritual path and human motivation and meditation, what I was continually seeking within was really an experience. And so basically, seeking that experience, whether it's internal or external, it's still important to recognize that that's what we're looking for. Listen, I want to jump real quick to another topic. I see that I wanted to recognize you for something that I saw also in your bio, and which I thought was really cool. It looks like you were honored or a speaker at the California Women's Conference, where there were other speakers. I was looking at some of the speakers that were there, and they're all so very different. It's a funny mix. So it was celebrating women's contributions, and there was speakers like Jamie Lee Curtis, Oscar De La Hoya, Marianne Williamson, all those very different kinds of people, and you were there as well. And tell us a little bit about what that experience was like.
Yeah, that was really an honor for me to be on the California Women's Conference. It's the biggest women's conference in the U.S. And actually, Jamie Lee Curtis was at the Central California Women's Conference, another conference. There were 3,500 women over there. And Oscar De La Hoya, Marianne Williamson, Dr. John Gray from the Mars and Venus, T. Harvick, Peak Potential, that was Adam Markle, who was there, the CEO of Peak Potential, Bill Walsh, like all the big speakers are there. We were, I think, 50 different speakers. Wow. But the common theme was about how the woman can achieve more in their life, either their financial life, spiritual life. So it's why the diversity of the speaker is so wide, because to have success, we need to have success in many areas of our life. And me, I was on a panel, Women's in Sport, so I was with different also Olympians, athletes, that we were sharing how the sports brought the focus, the adrenaline, the discipline, and how we apply that into business. And that is really what is all my work about, even when I speak, when I train, when I consult with people, is how your hobby, your passion really go through your personal life and your business. So if you are a jerk in life, sorry for the word, but you are in business too. I'm sorry. If you are honest in business. And more people are really conscious about the energy and the feeling and how the authenticity is so important. We are in a new era of business. And if you don't get into that wave, in 5 years, 10 years, you will regret to have been on the old path. And that's why I'm a role model. It's really bringing that new path of authenticity, vulnerability, and being able to make my clients like really go through the finish line at 180 miles per hour.
That's cool. I love it. That sounds great. Well, congratulations. That sounds like a fun thing to be a part of, and great that you were recognized there. I see that you were also recognized in 2012 as a woman of, let me see, I've got it right here actually, 2012 Woman of Impact of the Year. Is that right?
Yes, Woman of
That's
Impact of the
amazing.
Year. On a Focus on Women magazine, I was writing a lot of articles, and I have coached a couple of people there that come from there, and they had just great testimonial from me. So I got the award, and I went to Baltimore to receive my award, and that was for me the best trophy. I earned over 50 trophies in motorcycle racing, but this one I cried just
Wow.
a little bit after. I cried because for me it was really the first trophy that I got from who I became, and not for something I accomplished or being a winner in something. That was who I became, and it was just for my personality that I changed over the years, from being depressed to become a champion, from being
Right.
depressed, from being an international speaker and an international businesswoman and business consultant. And if somebody like me who came from a chicken farm with my parents who didn't have any zero contact in a little town out of Quebec. We were 800 people there. And I always said I wanted to be a celebrity and a singer at that time. It
Right.
transformed to be a speaker and a singer. But still, I accomplished that goal to travel the world. I just arrived from Africa, and I'm going back 3 times this year to speak in front of University of Nigeria and 30,000 convention youth empowerment. Because I was stubborn, I had a goal, I focus on it, and I just never give up.
I love it. I love it. And you know, the reason I really wanted to interview you is all of those things as a testimonial to accomplishment, achievement, reaching your goals, and being driven. But the other thing is that you keep going back to, at least now in your life, is that balance. You know, you always talk about, you know, I'm reading in all of your messages, and you've talked to me about this, is passion and balance. And it seems like there's that external achievement that needs to come along with the personal fulfillment as well. And that's why, you know, that's why I'm doing what I'm doing too, and the message that I'm seeking to impart, even in the event coming up, is let's get clear on the goals. Let's get support, inspired, and feel strong and feel driven. It's the, you know, it's an awesome life force energy. But let's also remember why we're doing it, and not disclude that part of ourselves that wants to feel that personal level of fulfillment. So I love that you're doing all that you're doing, but you know also that it's to seek, it's also to you know, achieve feeling that personal contentment and peace, and being, like you said, being recognized for who you've become as well as what you've done.
Yeah,
So
and then do
congratulations.
that for yourself and not for pleasing your husband or your wife or your parents or your school teacher. You know, there is a lot of people, unfortunately, in this society still, again, that they are doing a lot of things not for themselves. So it's why it's so important to discover your own power, your own passion, and your own mission. And I think that's what you want to share, and different tools and strategy into your event if you want to go into that.
I do. I do. You know, Element Life 2014, another way I've been describing it, like I said, is that it's about peak experience, where there is setting goals, having a vision, knowing what it is, or knowing where it is that you're going, but also knowing the other part of a real experience is knowing why you're going somewhere, and needing to really get in touch with what it is that you actually want to feel. Sometimes we just go and we get it, we accomplish something, and the high of getting that attention and getting that recognition feels fantastic. It's the result of accomplishing a goal, you know, but it's somewhat temporary. It fades, and then it leaves us so almost like craving and being obsessed with, you know, wanting to do that again. So then we want to just get back on the cycle and get another goal and rock it and work towards it. But the peak experience and living your element life, to me, is adding in that feeling of accomplishment and that feeling of contentment right away, and learning how to do that. And so in my event, we're going to be talking about goals and direction for 2014, and getting clear about those things. I'll take people through a guided vision process to get clear on what it is they want to be doing and where they want to be heading for the next year and beyond. but we're also going to be doing some other things that are going to be satisfying our internal needs and desires as well. I'm going to be introducing some of my own ideas, like creating a personal ecosystem that's constantly supportive of an inner atmosphere that we're seeking to feel. A stillness practice that I like to introduce that goes beyond meditation. It gets really simple in clarifying, getting grounded, releasing stress without having to go through a strong, intense spiritual development or experience to go there. I'm also bringing in a guest speaker by the name of Tammy Stanford. She's been a longtime friend and colleague of mine, and she's going to be introducing something called neurosculpting. And that is just a really cool and new and innovative way to release old and outdated limitations and beliefs that we have. And so I'm going to bring her in to do some work with us in the beginning, to clear out, to get us grounded in base and ready to really start looking forward into what it is that we want to be doing and where we want to be going, without the, without the kind of like without having the sunglasses on of I'm trying to get something so that I could finally feel okay about myself or feel strongly about my life and be present. And then, when we have those glasses on and we look out and try and set goals, we're really starting from the wrong place. So we have to remove those glasses, get really clear, get back to the center, get back to the beginning, and then say, what do you want? Where do you want to go? How do you want to feel along the way? What do you want your experience to be like? So that's what we plan on doing. What we plan on doing in my event coming up here January 4th. It's in Denver. You can find out more by going to my website at elementlifeconsulting.com. And I know we're getting ready to wrap up here, but before we do, I want to find out, first of all, you just said you're going to be going back to Africa. So a couple of things. Where can people find you now? How can they connect with you live? And then how can they find you? Do you have a website? And tell us all of that great information.
Yeah, so the people can go on my website, nadineracing.com. If you sign up for my free newsletter every month, I'm sending some inspiration, and I'm sharing a couple of my trips and the lesson that I learned. But also, you will have access to over $2,000 in free gift. I have a 1-hour video coaching with the racing system we talk about, and also the 36 goal, how to put that in a 3-year or like in a 36-month program. So I have all that for free on my website. Right. And if people want to connect with me more on a personal level, I have a mastermind, and I have also events at the racetrack. So people can come this year in San Francisco, in California, in Palm Springs Desert, and in Montreal to experience the racetrack at 150 miles per hour going in the back of the bike of people, and everything is on my website. But it's cool. Really a breakthrough experience with different coaches, different right. speakers, so you work on your stuff right away, right on the spot. And I'm like you, I'm really an experiential person, and I like people when they go back home, they feel different. Right. And everybody can have that at nadineracing.com, and you have also a free chapter of my book, Win the Race of Life at 180 miles per hour with balance and passion. So over $2,000 in free gift on my website. Don't miss out, nadineracing.com.
Yeah, exactly. Really, for anybody watching, jump into that and take advantage of it, and just go in and tap in and see what Nadine's got to offer. It sounds like she just loves to give away content, give away information that's really interesting, tangible. And the other thing is that, yes, I'm doing this event, and I have a coaching program as well, and I work with people one-on-one, and I have a couple of things that I give them that they can take away and experience right away that changes their elemental experience of life, so that they feel this incredible, passion to be alive and also to be active and activating their potentials. But I don't take people on the back of a motorcycle. I want to be really clear that this is one of the coolest things at some of your live events. You literally are taking people out to you do the event in a conference room at a racetrack, and then you actually bring the participants out with an expert trained driver. They get on the back of a speed bike, and they get ripped around. They get ripped around a track at 100 whatever it is miles an hour. Isn't that right?
Yes, 150 miles per hour. Hire a professional racer, and like with Tony Robbins, they walk on the fire for 10 seconds to have
Right.
breakthrough. With me, they go on the bike for 10 minutes. I
Amazing.
cannot count the numbers of breakthrough that people got. Like their life changed, they become unstoppable, and like they have big decisions to take. They kind of remind and them into that spot of being powerful and in your power and do whatever it takes to make it happen.
Incredible. You're giving people life. You're reminding people that they are alive, and from that space, they really wanted to create a life of substance. So, thank you so much for getting together and talking with me.
Thank you very much, and I want to thank you for doing that event and all that. And I will for sure promote this video through my friend base and fan base. And I really encourage my friend to really go visit your website, get to discover Jason, and go to his event. It's the 4th of January, right, in Denver, Colorado, and
Right?
you'll start your year 2014 in the right way, and really take your life back in 2014 and use people like Jason and I and other coaches out there and all the people who can really be real, being authentic, and just showing you the right way to do stuff.
That's right. Well, okay. Well, that's everything for today. Thanks so much. And until next time, live a complete and fulfilled life, right?